right now, Ariele doesn't know I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do it anyways. I want every one of you on this Zoom, see there's a comment section, a chat, see the chat at the bottom? I want everybody to type what Plexus has done for you financially. Whether it be getting your nails done, whether it be paying a car payment, whether it be sending your kids to gymnastics, I want everyone to type something that Plexus has done for them financially on the chat. Okay, awesome. Okay, y'all keep doing that. It's going to be beneficial, I promise. I love it. Love it. Okay, so while you're doing that, Ariele and I are going to start talking. So y'all gave us some great questions, and we're super excited to answer these questions for y'all. There's a couple things that we wanted to just talk about first that weren't questions that y'all asked, but they're things that we need to talk about. And so we're going to do that, and then we're going to get involved in the questions. We're going to go through as many of the questions as we can in our time limit. We don't want to go over the hour because we want to value everybody's time. So we'll just do that. So anyways, thank you if you send us questions. So Ariele, you want to talk about convention?
Okay, yeah. So Beth and I were talking, and we know you guys all know how important convention is. This is where leaders are born. I know we both talked about it before. Our first convention, Beth and I, was in Dallas, and that was where I changed my whole mindset. That's where I decided I'm like all in 100%. We both realized that convention falls at not the best time this year. Many of you have kids in school graduating, so we do understand that. But we also want to stress how important it is, you guys. Even if you can only be there for 2 days, you need to be there. Your teams are watching you. If they see you guys as leaders not at convention, they're going to think it's okay for them to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Like I said, even if you can only be there for 2 days, I know Beth and I have tons of people that are just going out there for a few days and flying back home Wednesday or flying back home Thursday to be at the graduation. And teachers, I know you guys can't get off. I get that. So we do realize that, those of you that teach, that it's hard to get off that week. So
yep. So get there if you can. There's they opened 1,500 more seats up yesterday, and that's the last of the seats, and they will sell out. They will pretty quickly. So if you are going, we're excited to see you. If you're not, really think about going and talk to your team members. You do not have to stay at the MGM. There's other hotels that are cheaper. There's nothing, you know, you can, I know lots of people literally get groceries and make lunch in their rooms and stuff like that. It's no big deal. Like, people do all kinds of stuff. People stuff 6 people in a room. But it really is important. Like Ariele said, our first convention was Dallas, and I was a diamond. Were you a sapphire at that point?
No, I was emerald.
You were emerald. Okay, I couldn't remember. And we had gotten those without knowing anything really about corporate. I mean, you know, doing anything corporate. I had been to the Super Saturday, but that's the only thing I'd been at. And leaving that convention, my belief for Plexus changed tremendously. Obviously, I had learned some belief before that point, but it was a game changer when I went. And every single year, I just get more and more fired up. I think it's always at the perfect time, right? You know, when we're tired and weary, and you go and you get fired up, and your belief gets built, and you make friendships. That very first convention is where I met my power partner, Cheyenne Weeble. I'd never met her before. We randomly sat next to each other, and our families have become, you know, such great friends, and she really is my power partner for Plexus. And so you'll make friendships there and partnerships in this business, and it will just really, really, really encourage you. The next thing we want to talk about is when you're signing new ambassadors, turning on their convenience orders. Okay, here's the deal. I know that it's not required by Plexus to turn that on. Okay, here's the other deal. 80% of people who sign up to be a Plexus ambassador and don't turn that on will never order Plexus again. So if you and your team are signing people up without the convenience, it used to be called backup order, auto call, whatever, on, you're probably going to feel like a hamster running in a reel, not going anywhere, right? Because they're not going to order again, guys. So I don't make it an option for the people joining my team. I tell them, this is what you do. This is why you do it. You need to be taking these products. You don't want to forget to reorder. That usually happens. You know, I let them know they can turn it off at any time. They have complete access. They can turn it off. So it's a no-brainer to me. It just helps you remember to order it. But I don't sign them without it on. And so I'm telling you right now, I look at every single person that joins our team. I'm kind of crazy like that. And I would probably say 70-75% of people are not turning their convenience orders on. That's a lot of people. Seriously. So it's so important to turn it on. You know, I've done videos about it. I put a video the other day from Chris McCall who was talking about it. It's hugely important. They can turn it off. It's not like they're stuck with it. Have them turn it on, because if they don't turn it on from the get-go, there's an 80% chance they'll never order again. Your team is not going to grow that way. They're not going to have results if they're not taking the products every single day, right? So anyways, Ariele, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, and you guys, if they're not willing to, when you sign them up as an ambassador, to turn it on, maybe they shouldn't be an ambassador. Maybe they should just be a preferred customer if they're not willing to turn it on. And also, you guys, there's been a lot of talk on the Jewels page, Diamonds page. Beth and I are really nice because there are a ton of people that if you don't have your convenience order on, you're getting kicked off their team pages. So I know Beth and I don't do that, but a lot of people, that's how serious it is in our business, is to have those convenience orders on. So yes, something to think about.
And again, we know it's not required, but it's very, very important that it's on. Again, they can turn it off in 2 weeks. They don't have to keep it on. If they decide this is not for them, they can turn it off. But why start with that chance of them not ordering again, right? Okay, Tiffany Hale, I just saw your post. I didn't know that maybe yes, you can go whenever you can. If you can get there for a day, seriously, it's so worth going. I know it's an expense, but I promise it's so worth going, even if you can be there for a day. Your business will grow, I promise you. You will leave on fire. So, okay, enough about that. So let's get to y'all's questions. Ariele, do you want to go first or you want me to go first?
It doesn't matter, whatever.
You go ahead. I got to take a breath. I'm coming to
Okay, so I just printed out late last night, some of the questions. One of the questions was, do most that start under you or your team start as customers and then roll over, or is there a balance of both? For me personally, for my team, I have a balance of both. People that I strictly sign up for the business, I am always trying to go for business builders. I have a list of people that I reach out to that did not reach out to me. I specifically reach out to people talking about the business. That's my main goal, is to get business builders on my team. I mean, you guys all get it. We do the business because we believe in the products. Clearly, I love the products. Clearly, I take the products, or I wouldn't be doing this business. So I am all about talking to the business with people. But yes, I also have wholesale customers. I think all of us do. Anybody that my customers that tell me they want to take the triplex combo, I get them to sign up as an ambassador because it's the cheapest for them and it gets us that $100. And whenever I talk to people, I always tell them they have got to give this at least 3 to 4 months to start working. So I know that if I have them for 3 to 4 months on my team pages, they're seeing everything, they're seeing the community, why would they want to quit? And then they can see all the business posts as well. So I have both. Beth, what about you?
Yeah, I definitely have both too. And I'll say this, that's one thing that I did not understand in the beginning. I could not wrap my head around why I would want an ambassador versus a customer. In my mind, I was like, I just want that 25% commission. I want that 25% commission. Guys, I promise you in the end, the more your team grows, that commission is great, but that commission is probably like 1,000, maybe not even 1,000 of my paycheck, seriously. And two, you have to look at all of those people, myself, that said I would never work this business. I truly signed up for the wholesale pricing. And so you have to look at that. And if there's a chance, if you know that there's somebody that, is an influential person or isn't scared to share, or has friends who doesn't have friends, that will share, then go ahead and sign them up wholesale. The only time I say not to do wholesale is if they're not going to order $100 worth of product. If they're only going to order Slim, if they're only going to order ProBio, keep them as a customer for sure, because you don't want ambassadors joining that aren't going to be ordering over $100 in product every month. So, but the other thing I want to say about that, guys, and if y'all were at our training in Coppell this weekend, it was amazing, right? One thing I said, we did a jewel panel, and one thing that I said was, I would not be a Plexus ambassador right now if Celeste Gwynn wouldn't have picked up the phone and called me and asked me to be a Plexus ambassador. Let that sink in a minute, truthfully. That's something that I have to work on. When she first started, we were doing life together. And so it wasn't weird that she called me, right? And so she called me and said, hey, I want you to do this with me. And so I did. If she would not have done that, I would have never even looked into it. I would have never given it the time of day, probably. So I want to encourage each of you, new, old, whatever, to call your best friends, call your friends that you do life with, and say, I want you to do this with me. Because they may just be waiting on a call from you. That's not the only time that's happened. The second time that happened with me was I'd been seeing Rhodanium Fields for months and months and months, and I was intrigued by it, but I would never do anything with it. A neighbor called and asked me if she could share Rhodanium Fields with me, and I said absolutely, and I ordered it that day. Now she's a Plexus ambassador, but that's a different story. What I'm saying is, I know sometimes you feel like you're stuck. Call your best friend. Call your friends and ask them. Some people just need to be asked. And I know that kind of doesn't go with that, but it kind of does, talking about getting the ambassadors. So, okay, so the next one, I'm going to go ahead and answer Melanie Bowman's question. Melanie asked us, how do you show a potential the business side when you are not too far ranked up, or you are not ranked up too far? I'm silver, and I don't have the jaw-dropping paycheck to show them. Okay, so Melanie, right now, if you want to screenshot our chat, you have several different stories of several different people who are not diamonds, who are paying for different things with their Plexus money. Now you have stories from several different people, right? So you can share their story. But, just share. I mean, you can share the diamond documentaries. You can share anybody. You can get an upline on a three-way chat or a three-way call to help you, let them tell their story. One other thing that I like that people are doing these days, and I've been on a couple of them, are these opportunity testimony meetings on a Zoom. Okay, first of all, everyone can have a Zoom because you can get a free Zoom. I think it lets you do 30 or 45 minutes at a time and have like 25 people, but everybody can be on a Zoom. Everyone can learn how to do a Zoom. I had no clue how to do a Zoom. And so anyways, what it is they're getting just 3 or 4 people, 3 or 4 ambassadors, different ranks, to hop on, and all they do is share their story. So you invite all your, lots of people, you get everybody to invite people, and then literally it's an opportunity testimony meeting, and they last like 30 minutes. And you literally just have those 4 people sharing their story. And what I love about that is it's quick. People can do it from their house, but you have different people telling different stories at different ranks. So you may have a silver on there, and they can talk about how Plexus has helped them and how, the money they're bringing. And you can have a diamond on there, or you can have like a senior gold. I really do recommend having different ranks. So people can see the different stories. But I just say use other people's stories. I know you heard me talk Saturday, and that's what I said. I didn't have the belief whenever I first started, but I leaned on the belief of Celeste and Ariele and Rainey because I knew they'd been taking the products. And so I think that's the same situation. Even if you don't have a story, you borrow your friends' stories that you know that it's helped, and you share that. And that's exactly what I did when I first started.
And share your nails.
And share your nails. You bet she's gonna call you out until you do a post about your nails. Seriously.
Well, no, seriously, because that's something that you spend your money on. And like I said, I know you and Katie, and I love your nail post. And so people that know you, can relate that to you. That's expensive.
And for some
That's
people, that's a splurge that they won't do for themselves. If they're on a tight budget, that's a splurge. I remember when we had to cut everything out, I had to cut getting my nails done out. And I mean, it wasn't the end of the world, but I love getting my nails, and I think I just feel pretty when my nails are done. And so for me, that was one thing that I got to start doing again, was doing my nails. So some people may see that and be like, oh my gosh, that would be so awesome to be able to just go get my nails done every week, right? I agree. Yeah, I'm not making fun. I think it's great. And
I think it's perfect.
Watching you, Melanie Bowman, to make a nail post, so you better be knocking on that.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Katie knows what I'm talking about. I see her smiling.
She's over there laughing. We love you, Bowman girls.
Love the Bowman.
Okay, Ariele, you go next.
Okay. Another question that we got was daily method of operation. Is it a Monday through Wednesday with specific days to follow up? Now, again, my daily method of operation and Beth's daily method of operation are probably going to be different than some of you. And when I started off, and I'm sure the same thing with Beth, we didn't have a daily method of operation. I mean, we were just posting, texting people. I didn't have, like I said, there weren't the resources that we have now back then. We were just going crazy. But I do work Monday through Friday. And I have an old school calendar. I don't like to use the computer. All my stuff is written out for the week. I write out every day, Monday through Friday, who I'm going to reach out to. I like to reach out to at least three people every day. And I do that on Sunday night. Sunday night after my kids go to bed, I take some time and I write out my whole week. So come Monday, I'm not sitting at my desk like, what am I going to do today? I already know who I'm going to reach out to. I already know what customers I'm going to follow up with. And I always follow up with my customers on Tuesday. I don't like to follow up with them on Monday because Mondays always seem so hectic. They just seem like crazy days to me. That's not the best day that I like to follow up with people. I give them a day to get situated, get their week going, and then I follow up with customers on Tuesday. And every morning, I take time for me. I know Beth does the same. She goes to the gym. I go walk and jog. And then I take an hour for me, usually from 10 to 11, to do my own IPA so I can get me handled. And then the rest of the day, I'm there for my team. They know that I'm available until I pick my kids up from school. And then in the evening as well, I'll set aside times. And I know Beth is the same, when we can do online opportunity meetings or coaching calls for people that work during the day.
Yes.
Beth, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I want to reiterate, it's going to look different for everybody. The whole thing is that you need to be absolutely consistent and do something every single day, at least Monday through Friday. I am very big personally on taking Sundays off and a lot of times on Saturdays, just because I am working. I am able to work Monday through Friday pretty consistently. And so, but just every single day. And I get it. And I'm going to actually roll in the next question to this. When I first started, I was working 3 part-time jobs. Ariele knows, like, I was like all over the place all the time. And so my husband traveled and my kids are super involved in like sports. And so I really had no time, and I had no set time because I wasn't supposed to be doing it when I was at work. The days that I had off of work, I was working on other things. But I was consistent every single day. And so it may be that, I got up 5 or 10 minutes earlier and responded to all the messages that I had, made a post, followed up, reached out to people. It may be that I went to bed 15 minutes later. I know in that time frame, I definitely stopped watching TV. I don't know that it was necessarily intentional. Like I said, one day I'm not going to watch TV today. But I also saw the potential of this business. And so I was willing to do that, and it just worked out. And so I would every single day. So the next question is, my IPA is different. Also, I very much schedule my days. Monday and Tuesday, I typically am at home in my office, reaching out to people, doing Zooms with people, having meetings with my team, following up with people, doing that. And then Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, it kind of is a mix of that. But I like to get out and go to lunches, get out and, be out where I can be sharing plexus out and about as well. And so in all of that, even the days that I'm out, obviously I'm still working on my phone. But for me, it just works that 2 full days in my office, I get so much done. And it just kind of gets, as the week goes on, weeks get crazy, but that's when I get out and about and start sharing. I'll go to lunch with team members. I'll go to lunch with potentials. Any of that, I really try to do that if possible in the last 3 days. But so the next question that kind of rolls in with that is first, time management while growing a team but still working. And I do think you just have to be intentional, truthfully, and be committed to being consistent. This is what I do know, that when I started, I worked every single day on Plexus. Like I said, maybe it was 5 minutes, like 4 times throughout the day, but that 5 minutes equaled 20 minutes. It may be that I should not say this, but there were times that I did respond to messages while I was sitting in traffic or like at a red light or stop somewhere. There were times where I responded to messages while I was at my kids' game when they were warming up or whatever. I just had to fold it into my days, but I was very intentional about doing it, and I never missed a day. And here's the deal. The biggest part of that is you have to reach out to people, but more importantly, you have to follow up with people. You're going to, again, be a hamster in a wheel, not going anywhere if you're just reaching out to people, never following up. We know the statistics. Most sales happen on the 7th to 12th contact. I think it's like a 2% happen on the first contact. 2% of sales guys. So how many of y'all have reached out to people and they haven't responded and you've just given up and never said anything else? I know, I'm being honest. I'm sure I have before, but we can't do that. We have to follow up and we have to keep asking. People ask me how I do that without being pushy. Here's the deal. People just forget. When they're not a part of Plexus, it's not a priority for them. So they may have read your post. They may have read your post when they were out and about. Your message when they were out and about and just forgot to respond to you when they got home. It may not have been on purpose, right? So if you never follow up, they're not going to do anything about it. So I would just, message back and say, hey, I saw you saw my post. I just wanted to my message. I just wanted to make sure that you didn't have any more questions for me. Or if I saw a testimony or I knew a testimony of something that might relate to that person, hey, I just read this testimony and it reminded me of you so much. I just wanted to share it with you. And that's all I would say. And so you don't have to be the pushy when you follow up. Just make contact with people. And I know that sometimes it's discouraging when they don't respond or when, they say, let me think about it, or I'm going to do it. And 8 weeks later, they still haven't ordered. Yes, it happens to all of us. We can't tie people down and make them sign up when they say they're going to. But if you just stop at that, you're going to be running a hamster wheel. You have to follow up for sure. And so being intentional about that when you're working, when you don't have time, a lot of time to do this, I think will definitely help you. I also think setting that time frame, like Ariele said at the beginning of the week, look at your calendar and say, okay, this is when I have time for this. Okay, I'm going to schedule 30 minutes after my kids go to bed to work my Plexus business. Now, when you say I'm going to schedule that 30 minutes, don't get on Facebook and play on Facebook. You can get on Facebook and do your business, message people, message your team, all of that, but don't get on Facebook and just scroll because that's not working your business. And so I really think just making those making those power hours, even if it can't be a full hour, but scheduling those throughout your week. Schedule, okay, this day I'm going to contact 5 people, these people. Tomorrow, the next day, I'm going to maybe contact 2 people, but I'm going to contact 3 team members because it is important to keep in touch with your team members and make sure that they know what's going on too, right? So just scheduling it and being intentional with the time that you have, allotting it, and maybe you do have to give a little bit up. I will say this, that if corporate, I will not miss my son's graduation. I will not miss my kids, if they're like in the state championship. I've been known to have to miss a basketball game. Super Saturday is always the first game for Little League basketball out here, always. And I never get to go to the basketball game. I hate that I missed that game, but I also know that he's 11 and going to have another game next week. And if any of you know me, like my kids and my husband, my family are like my thing. And so I hate missing stuff with them. But I also know that Plexus provides a lot of things that my family couldn't do without Plexus. And so my kids have just had to learn that every once in a while, mom won't be there. If there's a corporate event that comes in, like if there's an event like last Saturday in Coppell, you do what you can to get there, because it really is important. The next question from that same person, it was Heather Malone. I don't know if she's on here. I know she works during the day sometimes, is how to support wholesale only customers. So another thing that I said on Saturday was Celeste did call me, and I told her that I was never going to work this business. She called me one day, like after I started, and said, you need to post on Facebook twice a day. And I said, nope, you're crazy. I'm not going to do that. I am not going to have anything to do with that. And but she didn't let me just stay at that. She knew better. She knew I could do this, and she gently nudged me, and she gently pushed me, and she continue to stay in contact with me. And so it wasn't like, okay, she says she's wholesale, well, I'm not going to have anything to do with her again. She gently pushed me to believe I could do this business. And so that, I mean, I do have wholesale customers, absolutely, wholesale ambassadors. But, and you have to keep in contact with them. If they truly aren't going to work the business, you still need to be in contact with them just like you were a customer. Make sure they're taking their products. Make sure they don't have any questions. Make sure they don't need to rearrange their products. You have to keep in contact with them. And maybe eventually they will start working. I have a couple that have decided to start working. And so you can't just give up on them because they say, nope, I'm not going to do this. Because I swear I told her many times, nope, I'm not going to do this. And if she wouldn't have just been in communication with me, I would not be a Diamond Ambassador right now. And so I really, truly do believe that. So those were from Heather. Ariele, what do you got next?
Okay, this kind of goes along with that. So new ambassadors, you want to know, how do you follow up with the new ambassador? Again, doesn't matter if they're a wholesale ambassador or someone wanting to work the business. You follow up with them. You check in. If it's somebody that I sign that's local, I like to meet at my house or over lunch and go over the success kit. And I like to keep things simple. Y'all, I'm not a product person. I don't need to go over the scientific details of the product. We're in this. If you want to do this business, we're going to talk about the business. And I'm not going to go over all 11 ways when you sign up. We're going to just get down and dirty, and we're going to get to silver in our first 30 days. I am stressing that to everybody that I sign up, rather than going over this and this and this. Let's keep it simple, and let's get to silver as soon as we possibly can, hopefully in those first 30 days. And then you get that $100 bonus. Actually, you get $175 when you add in all the welcome packs. So right there, they're already making money. I don't like to just throw out a lot of things. I like to keep it simple. I'm a simple person. And I know Beth, the same thing. I don't mean that bad, but we're simple. We don't need all that jargon. Just tell me what I need to do to get to silver. We both enjoy doing sip and sees. I think it's also crucial to get your person to do a sip and see within the first month. A lot of people I've been signing are out of state. So we're trying to do these online events. I think those are just as impactful if you can't do one in person. So I'm all about getting people to silver and doing an online event within the first month of getting them signed up. And then everything from there follows. Once they're silver, we talk about going gold. We don't need to talk about the emerald pool when somebody signs up the first week. You know what I mean? So that's the way that I've been doing things, and it's been working out pretty well. But I do follow up with people once I sign them up all the time. I'm always in people's face, messaging them and stuff like that. So
yeah, absolutely. I think that's the biggest key, is staying in verbal communication. I did not say texting or messaging. I said verbal communication with your new ambassadors, and on a consistent basis. I'm the same way. I like to get right in front of them if I can. I like to encourage them to do a sip and see immediately. Get that scheduled if they're local and you can go do it for them. Seriously. Just get them started. The next question kind of goes with that. So let me read the next question. And I know I'm going to butcher the last name, and she's on here, so she just has to forgive me. Victoria Gottschall said, in following up on my wholesale customers who have indicated they would like to become more involved in the opportunity side. I'm starting with writing out the why and sharing it with me, as well as posting it somewhere. I'm using the quick start guide, but I don't want to go too quickly. What are some small steps that will encourage and not overwhelm them? Okay, here's the deal. I'm bringing it for real right now. Ariele and I did not know anything about Plexus when we started sharing. I did not have a story at all. Truth be told, I didn't believe that Plexus was necessarily going to work for me when I started sharing. I didn't know anything about the business. I was the worst leader ever because I didn't even know how to tell my people what to do. All we knew was to share Plexus. I think sometimes we feel like we need to know too much to start doing this business. I feel like, and it's not a bad thing to learn. You do need to learn in the process, but you cannot wait until you know everything. I promise if I waited to have a story, I wouldn't probably be Diamond right now because my friends would have joined with somebody else. I guarantee it. And so I think that sometimes now, because we have so much information, back then we didn't have this information. We didn't have the success kit. We didn't have team pages. We didn't even know what the word Zoom meant back then. We didn't know how to make a graphic. We didn't know. I remember Roz Payne and I sat next to each other working, and I'd be like, can you please just make me a before and after? I have no clue how to do that, right? We didn't know how to do any of these things, but we knew how to share with our friends, right? We knew how to, my brother came in town. He was my first ambassador. And I was like, I don't even know what this is, but I'm starting this pink drink. You can look at it. You should do it with us. And he did. Like, I didn't tell him anything about Plexus, guys, because I didn't know at that point. I didn't even know if I'd started drinking it at that point. But I just said, do this with me. I didn't need to know. Celeste said, do this with me. So I said, okay, whatever, you know. So I think that sometimes, I mean, yes, we need to learn those things, and yes, we need to teach our teams those things, but we also just need to get them to start sharing with their friends and family and just say, hey, here's the deal. I'm taking these products. These are what they're supposed to do. Here's some stories of friends that I know have taken these products. Just do this with me. And I think that sometimes, I mean, like Ariele said, go silver your first month. My goal for my people, go silver your first month, have 500 PV your first month. And then we work with their team members. And more than likely, they're not going to know what to even tell their team members. And so you help them. You get on three-way chats. You get on three-way calls. If you're together, you do lunches. But just start telling them to share. I mean, that's the most important thing. So, like, if there's a new restaurant in town, and you tell your friends, do you know everything that's on the menu of that restaurant? Do you know anything about the history of that restaurant? No, but if you like it, do you tell your friends to go eat there? I do, right? It's the same thing. Like, I don't need to know everything about that restaurant. I just knew I liked it. Eventually, you need to learn, and obviously, you do need to learn, and that's part of it. But I just think that so many people are trying to learn every single detail before they start sharing. And they just need to start sharing. What do you think, Ariele?
No, I mean, you basically covered most of it. But yeah, I agree. Just start sharing. Like she said, if you don't have your own story, share somebody else's. Share your upline story. Share your sideline story. It doesn't matter, but you got to be consistent with sharing. So, and also the new people, how she talked about getting face-to-face. If your people aren't in your local area, just get on a Zoom like this and do a Zoom meeting with them so you can see each other. So super
You feel like you're sitting in their living room. Literally, I was doing a one-on-one one time. I was like, I feel like I need the girl was holding her baby. I was like, I feel like I need to, like, hold your baby because I'm like, you're on my computer screen. It does. It just makes it more together. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your next one?
Okay. The next one that we have is, do you welcome new customers to a customer page? And I'm pretty sure Beth and I, neither of us have a customers page. And I think we both do the same thing. And there's nothing wrong with having a customers page. There's people on my team that have it. You just need to make sure if you do have one that you're constantly on, make sure you're updating with different things. For me, what I've just found to be successful is to just pick up the phone and call my customers on Tuesdays and make sure everything's okay. How are you liking your product? If people, like I said, I try and get everybody to do the triplex. Maybe in month 2, I send them another sample of something else. It's a great way to follow up. Oh, what'd you think of the X Factor? What'd you think of the body cream, to get them to try a new product? But like I said, I just reach out on Tuesdays. It's the easiest thing for me. I just know Tuesdays are my days to reach out to my customers. So,
okay, I'm about to step on some
customer page.
I'm about to step on some toes by saying this, so don't be mad. Don't hang up. Don't get off the Zoom. I think too many of us hide behind pages. Honestly, I think not just customer, but also our team pages. I think that we post stuff on our team pages sometimes and expect everybody to see it and expect everybody to read it. And probably 75% of people aren't even seeing it. You know, people are like, well, people won't get on these things. People won't get on these things. People won't respond. People won't do this. There's a good chance they're not even seeing it. The way Facebook is these days, we cannot hide behind our computer. We have to be intentional on using verbal communication with our team. Seriously. You know, you have to if you are using your team page, which you should have a team page. Your team page is great. I'm not saying anything bad about it. You just can't hide about it. Do live videos on there, because people see those videos for some reason more than they'll see us. Then they'll just see something printed down. But we can't hide behind our pages for sure. And I'm not saying that everybody is, and I'm saying that that's not what the intent is. But I think so many times me included sometimes, use Facebook and people aren't seeing what's on Facebook. And so, you know, if you have an event, if you add somebody to an event on Facebook, there is a 99% chance that they might not ever see it. And if they see it one time, they're never going to see it again. So like, say you're having a Facebook party. Well, you're adding all these people. You also need to be somehow getting a hold of them off of Facebook, because they're not seeing it. I sometimes go to my events looking for something, and I'll have all these events in there. I'm like, I have never seen these ever. What are they? What are they? And if I've seen them, it's maybe been once, because if they don't accept that event invitation, or if they don't comment on something, they're never going to see it again. And so that's what I mean by hiding behind Facebook. I think so many times people depend on that, and then they get frustrated because nobody shows up to whatever, or nobody's responding. People really aren't seeing things on Facebook anymore. And so use it for sure, but go farther than that.
Y'all, yeah, let's talk about that for a minute. The events, I know that wasn't a question, but everybody is doing them. The online events, please don't just add people to the event just because, like I said, nobody sees it. And I get so many event requests for that lipstick stuff. So that just goes to show me that people don't care about me. They don't know me, because y'all look at me. Y'all see me every Tuesday. I don't wear makeup. I don't wear lipstick. Don't add me to your lipstick group. Now, had they taken the time to text me or call me and say, hey, I'd really like you to be on this group, see what our event, then I would be more than happy to. But that's what I mean. Take it a step further. We just did one last week, 2 weeks ago, and there were 4 of us. And I said, do not add anybody to this event. I don't care if we only have 20 people. You're going to pick up the phone, or you're going to message them and ask them, do I have your permission to add you to this event? I'm giving my testimony. I would love for you to hear my testimony. And every single person that did that event, I don't know if any of them are on here, but they all got a customer or something out of it, because we were all personable and we didn't add 200 people just going down our Facebook list. I promise you guys, if you take that extra time to be personable and ask them. I did. I said that. It's like, do I have your permission to add you to this? I would just love for you to hear my story. Every single person I asked said yes. So it's something to think about.
The event was amazing. It was so good. Okay, I feel like we're like bringing it. Like we need to laugh or something. Everybody like do a dance or something, because we're like getting all serious all up in here today. Woo, let's take a deep breath. But it's great. It's good. I love this, because these are questions that y'all had, so I love this. Okay, but you know, I don't like stepping on toes. So anyways, okay. Betsy Sims is on here, I think, or she was on here. I saw her earlier. Her question is, if you just now decided to start working on your business full time, what would you do? Aside from the usual Franks list and contacting warm market, how would you make this your full-time career? Specific actions would be greatly appreciated. And she put asking for a friend. It's cute. Okay, so contact people. Ask for referrals. Use your Franks list. And here's the deal. I just redid a Franks list because I decided that I was going to just start asking people for referrals. And so I made a whole new Franks list of people that have never even acknowledged that I take Plexus or anything that I posted. They may not even comment on things that I do personally, but I just started making a Franks list for that. And literally started reaching out to them and saying, hey, I know that you obviously have probably seen that I do Plexus, and I'm looking to find people in different areas. Do you know anybody that suffers with blah, 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 blah? I offer a referral fee. I mean, a referral, like I give a referral, I don't even know how I said it, referral gift or whatever. If you think of anybody, let me know. And so I started that. Okay, but here's the other deal with your Franks list. And I think that this is huge. And so many people, like I didn't think about this until a long time in. Pick up your phone list and write everybody down on your phone list. And next to it, write down why they need Plexus. That'll give you a whole lot more people to contact, because people don't think about that. They just start writing things down. Get your phone list, go through it, figure out why they need Plexus, because everybody on there needs Plexus for some reason, and start messaging them, calling them would be better, and reaching out to them about Plexus. Again, talk Plexus wherever you are. For instance, if y'all are on at the very beginning, Scott had a lady here. He was signing some documents for a house, and he goes, "Hey, I need your card." And I was like, okay. He was sharing Plexus with the lady that he didn't even know that was in our house. When you're at the grocery store, when you're at Target, wherever you are, at the gym, I have 3 potentials at the gym right now that I just started talking Plexus. You have to talk about wherever you are. Wear your Plexus swag. That's another thing. I swear I would never wear a Plexus t-shirt. I was like, no way, I'm not wearing that. I wear Plexus t-shirts almost every single day. At the gym, I have them on. People do. It's a conversation starter, guys. It really, I can't tell you how many people have said, hey, what's that? What does that mean? What's on your shirt? How to make this a career? Seriously, put your heart and soul into it. Do everything you can. You have to share. You have to grow your team. You have to help your team grow. You cannot do this business on your own. You have to have a team. And so helping them figure out how to grow and how to, share with them and learn and all those things. Here's the one thing that I say quite often, and this may hit home a little bit too, when we talked about convention. You cannot expect your team to do anything that you're not doing. So are you on Zooms? Are you hosting Zooms? Are you calling your level 1 ambassadors? Are you doing live with them? Are you reaching out to customers? Are you following up with customers? Are you posting on Facebook every day? Are you going to events? Are you having sip-and-sees? Your team will not do anything that you're not doing, plain and simple. Ariele and I are not perfect. We, do everything that we possibly can, but I know that y'all know that we do as much as we possibly can, that we do post, that we do share, that we do Zooms, that we go to events, that we do practice what we preach, what we say. I just think it's so important. And so for your team to grow, you need to do the steps that you're asking them to do as well. And I do think that is hugely important.
Yes.
Yeah. Anything else?
Nope.
I feel like we're so intense. Do you feel like we're so intense? We need to chill it.
We're doing good. We're going through everything.
Okay, good.
Okay. The next one that I have, and you're probably going to know the answer to this, and probably the same thing for Beth. Do you keep a spreadsheet on your computer of people you want to reach out to and work off that list? Nope, no spreadsheet. No. I work off my computer. I work off of lists like this. Like I said, I'm not business savvy. I just go do it. I like to write things down. See, I like to cross things off after I've done it. That's just the way I am. So no spreadsheet for me.
Did you like that major drama? I was like, I hate the computer.
I'm pretty sure Beth doesn't use an Excel spreadsheet either.
Ever. Right? Never. Ever. Okay. I had to do one for my expense report the other day for going on that opportunity meeting. I messed it up like 3 times. I'm not even kidding. I didn't. Yeah. Okay. Here's some truth for you 20-somethings. Are you ready for this truth? Because this is really going to show how old I am. We didn't even have to have computers in college. I didn't have an email in college. We didn't have Excel. I literally, my senior year, went to the computer lab to type a paper. We wrote everything down. So there you go. I'm old school.
Yeah, so there's no right or wrong way to how you run your business with your customers and all of that. It's up to you. Those of you that are computer savvy and it works for you, great. People like me and Beth, that just doesn't work, great. There's no right or wrong, so whatever works best for you. Spreadsheets would be a waste of my time. So.
I don't even use the only time I use my calendar on my phone is if I need an alarm to remind me that I'm supposed to.
I never use my phone. I use my written calendar.
I have a written calendar and 2 pink spirals. And
I'm not as old as Beth. I'm still younger than Beth, and I don't like the computer. So.
You had to use the computer. Y'all, seriously. It's such a simple life. I remember like my roommate had a computer in her room, and it was when chat rooms started. Y'all, like seriously, some of you 20s probably don't even know what a chat room is. We were like, these people are crazy in here. Anyways, lots of entertainment for days on the. Anyways, okay, totally. Okay, see now that's not intense. We're laughing a little bit. That's good. We like to laugh a little bit. Okay, Brandy Combs, is she on here? Brandy is my twin. If y'all don't know this, I did not know Brandy before Plexus, and she is in our downline, and we have the same birthday, and like so many random connections like that. It's funny. So we call each other twins. So she asked, how how to help men who want to make a little money but don't want to go all in due to their full-time job. A guy who wants to keep it really simple. Okay, so I like to use Scott as an example because Scott is an emerald. That's my husband, if y'all don't know who Scott is. And he works flexes totally different than I work flexes. And yes, we work our businesses together. And so, you know, I put people on his team. He's found people for me. We just kind of rotated around. But he hates Facebook. Like, I will make him post on Facebook sometimes. He hates Facebook, right? But he is out and about a whole lot more than me, especially when he was working full time. He worked for IBM, and so he traveled, and he was around lots of people all the time. And so he could share. He would share. He would keep samples in his bag, and he would share with people as he came in contact with them. And so I think that that's huge. I think guys do it totally different. I mean, the other day we were at the gym. There's Brandy. I was in class, and we had tried to get him to come in class because the class I was doing, his trainer was teaching. And so I was like, come in here, do it with us. And he's like, I'm not coming in there, whatever, you know. And so we were doing our class, and the whole time we're sitting there watching Scott standing there talking to somebody. And so we're like making fun of him, like, oh, you're too busy, you can't come in here, but you're sitting there talking to somebody. And in my mind, I'm thinking, he better be talking about something important out there like plexus. And he was sharing plexus at the gym with this guy who had some kind of injury. And so he was talking about how ease had helped him. So definitely he doesn't do it like I do it, Brandy. He really just, when he's out and about, talks. Are you like speaking for somebody that maybe is like a husband and wife, or just a man doing it on his own? Is that what you're asking?
It's my brother.
Okay.
He has a full-time job and is really busy and keeps saying, I want to share. I just don't want to do everything you do.
Yeah. Well, and Scott doesn't do everything that I do, honestly, but he probably gets us more like random customers and potentials than I do because he has more, he's seeing new people all the time. Does that make sense? I mean, like earlier today, he saw that lady. And so I think that, I mean, if your brother is a Facebook guy, he could post. There's the Man Cave page. I'm sure he's on the Man Cave page, but you know, there's some ideas on there, but I do think it is different. Anyways, but that's how he does it. He really does it more out than on Facebook. And so then because I'm here, you know, I help him follow up with people, but I'll make him call people and talk to him about him and tell his story because his story is so different than mine. I mean, he has a cholesterol story. Now he has an ease story. You know, he did lose weight. He uses Edge. I don't use Edge. He uses it before he works out. And so he has all these different things that I don't have. And so he can share that with people. So that's my thought on that.
Here, I want to expand on that for a minute. Same thing with my husband, Brandy. He's not on Facebook at all. He hates Facebook. He is like Scott and will go out and talk to people. We bought a mattress. He's now an ambassador on our team. He's just, men just like to talk to people in general. And also, you guys, I'm just going to put it out there. Men like money. Men like to talk about money. I don't know if you know who Rob Heffley is. He's a Sapphire ambassador. He is great. I've gone to him a bunch of times asking him questions, and he always says it. Bottom line, men like money. If you show them what they could be making, show them the potential, that's all they need. So with men, it's kind of a different mindset as well. And he's right. Everybody we've ever signed that's a man, it's all about, oh, you bought this mattress because your wife that makes this amount of money, like that kind of stuff. So they kind of see things a different way. We're more feely and about feelings. You talk to them about the money, and there you go. But Rob Heffley would be a great person to reach out to, and he's always willing to help people. So,
you think we look alike since we're twins? We have blonde hair. Good. I love Brandy. She's so sweet. Okay, you have the next one. I think I just have one more. So.
Okay, and I know we're almost like running out of time too. I'm trying to see. Let's see. Posting. Do you have a system for posting? I know a lot of people do those buffer, those ones that are scheduled. I don't do that because I might think of something during the day. I like to post. I do non-plexus post every day, and I probably do 2 plexus posts a day. Normally on the weekend, I don't unless it's Sunday night. I found that Sunday nights are a high traffic time for Facebook. So I always try and get posted Sunday night, a plexus one if I can. But honestly, about 2 times a day plexus, the rest of them non-plexus. And I like to do one in the morning and or carpool time or morning and evening or carpool and evening, that I found those to be good as well. And then of course, just those non-plexus posts and engaging posts, asking people for questions, ideas, suggestions to get your non-plexus people involved is a great way. So
yes, and I will say that I think, which I thought that like lunchtime would be a good time to post, but I think the 1-2 o'clock time is the worst time to post. I feel like every time I post in that time of day, nobody ever sees it. Nobody likes it, nobody does anything. So just find out what time you're seeing people at least like stuff, maybe not even comment, but like stuff. And because I really that time frame, even on my team page, it's really weird. Anytime I post something in that time frame, personally, nobody ever sees it. So if nobody sees it, I delete it and repost it because I want people to see it. But I mean, there's times when I like ask a question and you're thinking, a plexus person is going to respond on this, and nobody does. And so I'll delete it and repost it that night. But make sure that you are putting personal posts in there. Like if it means you have to post 4 times personally and 2 times plexus, make sure you're putting personal posts in there or people are not going to be watching you. And then make sure, 2 things also on posting. Do not share from somebody's page. You can copy and paste, and I do that all the time, but do not share. My mom's on here. Where is she? She shares my stuff all the time. People aren't seeing it because my posts are private for the most part. I don't know. I just do it private. I don't want to do anything wrong. And so if we're not the only, like for instance, if my mom shares it, the only people that see it on her page are people that we're both friends with, which she has a lot of people we're both friends with. So she's a bad example of that. But I know some people that I only have plexus relationships with and plexus mutual friends will share something on my page and nobody's seeing it except for those plexus people because mine's private. And so you're not seeing it. So copy and paste it. You're more than welcome to use it, but copy and paste it, like copy the picture and then copy and paste the writing and put that on your page. And then again, just make it personal, and not just like a boring graphic. Like always put some meat to it because it gets more. Okay, one more on over here. Brady, any advice or ideas on building belief in others? I have it, but I think I'm lacking on portraying that belief to my ambassadors who don't fully see it yet. They tell me they see it in me, but they don't just feel it yet. Ideas other than going to live events. I know that I'm looking for other ways. I think, maybe, Brandy, even getting some like 3-way chats going if they can't get to live events where people can just talk back and forth. If you can do some of the opportunity Zoom meetings or whatever, if they're close and you can even just go to lunch with them, but really just ask them how has it changed your life? Because sometimes people are like, oh, I don't have a big story, but maybe they don't have to take a nap in the afternoon. And really that is life-changing because they can spend more time with their family. Or maybe they're like, well, I don't have headaches anymore. They're thinking, I don't have this big story, but really they do have a story. And so that starts building the belief. But for me, I didn't have belief, and I had to just watch people's testimonies and learn from people that did have that belief and quickly and start sharing. And then when my customers had stories, I did start believing. But that's a big thing and I know that your belief, like I was talking about it Saturday, I said, it's like a thermometer, and I started like real low on believing because I didn't believe it would work. And then I started hearing stories. And so my belief thermometer would go up a little bit. And then I would see a customer of mine who had, results and loved it. So I believed it a little bit more. And so just engaging and maybe just telling stories, maybe connecting people together, even if that can't be live, like doing a 3-way chat or doing a Zoom with, hop on with one of us and have us do a Zoom and just talk live. I think so much of it, guys, is becoming a part of Plexus to build your belief. I really, really, really do think that. And I say that all the time, like just doing life with your team, whether that be calling them, talking to them, whether that be, having, a team dinner that you don't have any agenda, but you're just going to sit there and do life together. I love doing those because eventually your Plexus is going to come up if you're with your team, just go have a girls' night with your team. Or, I mean, I know we have guys too, they can come too, but don't call it a girls' night if you have guys coming. But, and just doing life with them. And I think that does build belief, because people do want to be a part of something for sure. So that's all my questions. Do you have another one?
I have one more. And like I said, I know we're running really close, so bear with us. Somebody, it was Ruth Ann or Jill, I don't remember who, asked about closing the deal. Okay, and in my experience, and probably Beth as well, there's not like a certain way to close the deal. It depends on each person that you talk to, you guys. I try and appeal, and I'm sure most of you, if you haven't, the color personality book, that's huge, because I'm a blue and red. And I just assumed people were like me. They like to travel. They want money. Like, that's what gets me excited. That doesn't necessarily get everybody else excited. So when you know what their personality is, that's how you can talk to them. That's how you can relate to them. And listening to them, guys, find out what it is that they need, okay? So really, I just don't think there's one way to close the deal. I think if you read that book, that's going to drastically change. Yeah, Beth is holding it up. That's going to drastically change your business. That's how I've been using that when I've been talking to all of my newest ambassadors when I sign them up. I think it's huge. Go out and read it. There's just not one certain way. I mean, keep following up with people. If you've talked to them 8 times. I've been doing this for almost 4 years this month, and Beth has been doing it for 4 years. I will continue to reach out to people to close the deal until they tell me to leave them alone. Seriously, and that's what I'll say. I'll be like, hey girl, I'm just gonna keep bugging you until you say, Ariele, leave me alone. And no one's ever told me to leave them alone. We all see the messages, like if you do a voice message on Facebook, they saw it yesterday and they didn't respond. Well, I'm gonna follow up next week. Girl, I saw, and like I said, until you say shut up, I'm gonna keep following up, and I tell them why I want them on my team. Absolutely. I love to be complimented. Other people love to be complimented. I make sure to let them know why I want them on my team, and that we're going to work together, and how awesome it's going to be. Beth, I don't know if you have anything to add.
No, I agree. And y'all, this book really, okay, I'm not a reader at all. I'm a terrible example to my children.
It's easy. It's an easy book.
I read it on the plane to Lubbock, and a plane ride to Lubbock is 45 minutes, and I read it front to back. It's funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's so true. I am total yellow with a little bit of blue, because I like to have fun and I like to travel, but I'm a pleaser. I don't want to step on toes. And so for me, sometimes.
Guess what color Beth and I don't have? Guess what color Beth and I don't have at all?
Yes. Green is the details, and like they want to know the scientific information. Yeah, I'm like, we'll find that information out for you. Anyways, but it's really good, and it really does help you see, because, for instance, because I'm a yellow, sometimes I do have a hard time, not necessarily closing, but being that pushy person, because I never want to make anybody, like mad or whatever. And so it helps you understand that, but it helps you understand your customers as well. And it's funny because, okay, so I know that so many times people think, oh, diamonds don't struggle with closing the deal, diamonds don't whatever. Ariele, what were you and I talking about on the way home from the gym this morning? The girl that I was like, I got to figure out how to get her to buy plexus. Like, I've been talking to her for days. And we were just, every personality is different. And so it is hard for me, because I am not that like bold out there person. And so I have a sweet lady at the gym that I'm trying. I gave her a sample. She's like, I was out last week because I had migraines. I hurt so bad. I'm like, oh my gosh, you have to use plexus, but I still haven't closed the deal. So anyways, it really does. That book helps, but you can get it on Amazon. Like I said, it took me 45 minutes to read. It's funny. If I can read it, anyone can read it, because I can't concentrate sometimes. So, okay. There was one question on here real fast. Let me go back to it, and then we'll be done. This is, after sharing my testimony with plexus twice, her doctor wanted info. Gave him a sample Friday, a catalog, a detailed list, ingredient site. What should you do next? I would email him, especially since he's a doctor, and maybe set up a time to see if you can chat with them. Grab your upline if you need to, but get on a 3-way call, 3-way Zoom. If your upline's with you, go talk to him. Or if you don't have to have your upline, but sometimes that third-party validation is great. But yeah, absolutely reach out to him. And guess what? Doctors are busy. And so if he doesn't respond right away, don't let that go, guys. follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up, and then follow up some more. I'm telling you, it's not just us. I mean, people, you have to ask people, you have to follow up with them. And I get it. Like, there's people who, I'm going to order that, and 8 months later, they still haven't ordered that, but you just have to keep following up with them, because one day it will. It's not a priority for them. So anyways, this has been fabulous. I think this has been great. I hope that y'all have enjoyed it. I love seeing so many friends on here. It's fun. I can't wait to see everybody at convention. Who's going to convention that's here? Yes, fun. It's going to be good. And Kelly Clarkson, who's excited about that? That's big time, right? That'd be great. So, okay, well, I will post a recording later today. Ariele, who's next week?
Y'all, we've got a really good lineup these next 3 weeks. Next week, and y'all may not have heard of her. Listen, you want to be on there. Her name is Brooke Matamoros. She's a diamond. Her business is blowing up. She is always on the leaderboards, so we're super excited about that. And then after that, we have Emily Fennell, who also, her business is blowing up. You've seen her name. You've seen her speak. And then we're really excited for the end of April, because we have Jen Pickett, who is a green and knows products. So I'm going to have my notebook for that. But y'all be sharing. But next week will be great. Brooke is awesome.
So please just encourage your team members to get on here. I know that we have 100 people that can be on here every single Tuesday, because we've done it before and many times. And so just encourage your teams to be on these Zooms. We do record them, and I hope that y'all share those as well. But it's fun being on. You can ask questions and stuff like that. So anyways, I hope y'all have a great day. Thank you for taking time out of your day to be on here with us. We'll see y'all later.